Oops. Hi, everybody. It went live faster than I thought it would. Caught me tail end of cleaning my nose. So, how's everybody tonight? I've had a busy day today, and I literally just finished eating supper. Um, this morning, had Bible study, and we meet in a large church, and there's children studies and adult studies, and I helped out with the kids today, and I really enjoyed it. I was with 8 and 9 year olds, and that's a fun age. So I did that this morning, and then this afternoon I volunteer for a local nature preserve on the finance committee once a month, so I did that this afternoon. So I have worn many hats today. And see, we have one person. Hello, one person. I may take my glasses off. We'll see how this goes. I have trifocals, and sometimes when I'm looking at the camera, I see the lines right in between. So I thought tonight I'm going to steal what Buzz from Buzz's Garage did the other day on a video. And he had a question. What do people like or don't like now that they're retired? And I found it kind of interesting. So I thought maybe we would do that. And on his video, um, a lot of people said they don't like being around people anymore, or maybe less noise. And I kind of agree with that. So if any of you have things that you like or don't like now that you're retired or maybe almost retired, let's talk about it just for the fun of it. And I see some more. I can see how many people are here, but I don't know who they are. So whoever you are, hi. And we're just going to talk about things we enjoy in retirement and things we're glad we don't have to deal with anymore. And I don't miss working, but I did enjoy going to the finance meeting this afternoon, and I was looking at the profit and loss statement, and they had a couple terms in there I wasn't sure of. So I went online and I spent about an hour studying. It was receiving revenue, restricted revenue for nonprofit companies. So I learned all about uh, when to use restricted revenue. I know that's kind of boring, isn't it? I wouldn't want to do it 40 hours a week, but it's kind of nice to do once in a while. And let's see. I live in Indiana, and yesterday it got up to 63 degrees, and I actually sat outside for a little while and soaked in all those sun rays and a little bit of vitamin D. I didn't get sunburned, so I'm glad for that. Everybody's quiet tonight. Oh no, I may have to do all the talking. So what are some things that you enjoy in retirement or you hope you never have to deal with again? And again, a lot of people are glad that they don't have to deal with people so much. Um, I've discovered when I worked, I either had headphones on or music playing lightly, and it was to kind of use as white noise to so I wouldn't hear other people talking so much. So I did that most of my working life. And now that I'm home, I can't stand any noise at all. I very rarely listen to music anymore. Don't have the radio on. I just enjoy the peace and quiet. So that's one thing I've changed since I retired. And I don't miss driving to work every day. I don't miss the traffic jams. I tend to drive during the day when there's not so many people. Hi, farmer's wife. How are you tonight? And your name is Diane, I think. Yes, your name is Diane, so I'm glad you came back this week. How's your week been? And I don't know how long you've been listening, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about things we like or dislike now that we are retired. And I don't remember if you're retired or not, farmer's wife. If you have a farm, you'll probably never retire. I'm gonna grab a drink of water real quick. Oh, that's no good. I'm sorry to hear your husband's not feeling well. And when they're not feeling well, you kind of miss their talking and cheerful disposition, right? So, I was talking a little bit earlier. I went to Bible study this morning, and there's a lot of people out sick right now. And now that I'm retired, I don't know who's sick or not, but when you have kids in school and stuff, you're kind of up on all that. So the flu bug must still be going around. And um, like I mentioned a little bit ago, it was 63 yesterday, and today was in the 40s. Yes, Diane, every farmer needs a wife who works in town and carries the insurance. Oh, that's very true. I didn't think about that. Um, yeah, being self-insured is expensive. So may I ask, what do you do? What kind of job do you have? You don't have to answer if you don't want to. I was an accountant back in the day. And speaking of farming, I like to start seedlings, and I need to. I think I'm going to do that tomorrow. But I start petunias first because they take forever to get started, and then probably the middle of March I'll start some tomato plants. I kind of enjoy doing that. And I've got some grow lights and heating mats. And farmer's wife, you're Diane. You've been retired about 4 years and enjoy every minute of it. Oh, okay. You work in a publishing company making digital apps. That's kind of interesting. So you must have done a lot of marketing type things. I enjoy reading. That's about as close to publishing as I get. So there's usually a few other people here that on Thursday nights. They must be busy right now. We'll just keep talking. um, what else do I like now that I'm retired? I do set an alarm clock every morning because I really don't like sleeping in, but I do sleep in a little bit. I like having I like having the alarm clock go off because I like having a sense of purpose and getting up about the same time of the every day. I just feel better when I wake up to an alarm clock. But like I said, sometimes I sleep right through it. And this morning, I heard on the radio. I did turn the radio on for a little bit, but we had a thunderstorm and hail this morning, and I guess that was about 6 o'clock. I didn't hear any of it. Um, I'm speechless. That's unusual for me. What else do I enjoy being retired? We don't set an alarm clock. Oh, you have a dog. Yes. Mother Nature calls and wakes you up. I've never owned a pet. Um, we never had pets when I was a kid. And then I have a lot of allergies, so I just never ventured down the pet routine. But I have 2 grown children, and they both have pets. One has cats, one has dogs and ducks. That's as far as I'm gonna go with that one. In fact, they were talking last Christmas, they were thinking about getting a pig. I don't know, um, if that's still a thing or not. Um See what else? I usually post a grocery blog every week, and I ran quickly to the grocery store yesterday. I was in and out in 10 minutes, and I decided I wasn't going to do a blog about grocery shopping. I'm having trouble with a sore knee, and I finally went to the doctor yesterday, and it's arthritis, which is what I thought it was. But some days it just aches, so I don't go out much when it hurts. I'm gonna take my sweater off here real quick. I Sorry about that. I was out earlier and it's damp and foggy here in Indiana. And when I came home, I was kind of cold. I think it's just the dampness. And Diane, I do a Financial Friday video every Friday. I started this in January, and every Friday I go over my budget, and some people kind of like it. And I give tips on how to plan your family budget a little bit better and try to come up with tips to save money. Oh, what did I decide about a Bible study? I have a couple videos, and we're going to do in the book of John, we're going to do the 7 I ams. And I have a community tab page, and I asked people which night they preferred, and it's 50-50. Half want to be meet, half want to meet on Monday night, and half want to meet on Tuesday night. So I'm going to make an executive decision. I'm going to do it on Monday nights, 7 o'clock Eastern 10. I can't talk tonight. 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And then it'll be live, and I don't know if we'll talk for 5 minutes or an hour, I really don't know. And, and then the people that can't watch Monday night, at least they can listen on Tuesday, see what we came up with. So that's what I decided. I'm kinda scared. Um, when I was, doing the video, I did an intro to the book of John, and I kinda felt like I was Moses saying, "God, I'm not a very good speaker." I did a lot of editing in that video, so I hope it turns out okay. But the video I did, it came out yesterday. I kinda reviewed how I study the Bible, and I used, the book, well, John chapter 1, I kinda used that. Okay. I hope I hope you'll join us on Monday night, and I need to put out a list of Bible verses. I just thought it'd be kind of kind of fun to do. And then with it being Lent, I just thought it'd be a kind of a nice, easier Bible study to get started on. So we'll see what happens. And that's that story. Whenever you teach something, you learn more than the students. You spend hours and hours studying, and you give a lesson in, I don't know, 15 minutes or so. I used to teach Sunday school when my kids were younger. And so, Diane, do you have any hobbies? I enjoy knitting and a little bit of gardening. And I don't have my knitting with me. Oh, no, I don't. Wrong bag. I have knitted a couple times on videos. People really want to see it, and then not many people watch it, so I don't do it very often. So let's dream up some other things we like to do during retirement. Um, Trying to think. So I do my shopping in the middle of the day when there's fewer people around. I enjoy, like this morning, I go to Bible study on Thursday mornings, and then I'm done socializing. I'm kind of a homebody, and Diane has lots of hobbies. Oh, you enjoy crafting. Well, hello. I'm gonna have to put on my glasses. I can't read your name. Callan Musk. Hi, it's nice to meet you all. You're not retired yet, so it's interesting hearing the other side. So, do you have a first name, or do you want us to call you Calamusk? Calamusic. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Retirement is great. It's Walt. Your name is Walt, like Walt Disney? And music? Is that a German spelling? Just curious. Are you close to retirement? Walter White. Okay. Like Walter White. Okay. I was telling somebody today, music with a C was taken. Gotcha. Oh, Walmart has delivery out in the country. Oh, Walter, you're 28. Wow. Well, my number one advice is start saving today. I'm a retired accountant. So if you start putting $100 a month away until you're 68 or 65, you'll have over $1 million saved up. So that's my one bit of advice. Start saving now. When you save when you're younger, you don't have to put so much as time goes by, compounding interest, your money grows and grows and grows. So that's that. Well, hi Mary, how are you tonight? Um, we're off to a slow start, but we're getting there. My opening thought for the week was to talk about what we like or don't like now that we're retired. And Calla Music, who's also known as Walter. He wants to know what it's like being retired. Although, Walter, have you ever heard of the fire music? Fire music. Fire plan. It's how do you say it? It's an acronym. Financial independence, retire early. So some people they save tons and tons of money in their 20s and 30s, and they can retire when they're 40-ish. So, yeah, Mary, I don't like the health end of things either. I just turned 70, and I wouldn't mind dialing back to 65 because I've gone downhill in just a few years. So, I guess my second piece of advice, number one is save for retirement, and number two is do whatever you need to do to stay healthy. Eat well, exercise, all that good stuff. So, I had mentioned, oh, I stole the idea from Buzz's Retirement Garage. He had a video the other day about the top things that people like or don't like in retirement. And my nose itches. Sorry. Um, from what he read, the number one was people don't like being around people as much anymore. And I kind of get that. And I like to drive during the middle of the day when to avoid all um, commuting traffic is done. And I just remember this. I live a block away from a elementary school, and I avoid going out around 8:30 and then about quarter to 3. Everybody everybody drives their kids to school. There's always long lines. Um, I almost wish they have school buses, but it is what it is. When I was a kid, I lived in a town you had to live a mile and a half away from school before you could ride a school bus. So I always walked to school until we moved to Indiana, and I was a sophomore in high school, and then I rode the bus. That's that story. And Walter is working 2 jobs, investing as much as you can. Well, I think that's what a lot of people do in um, the fire thing. They work really hard, and then they find things they enjoy doing, and that's what they do the rest of their adult years. And that's not such a bad thing. And Mary's down the street from a middle school. Okay, she rode her bike or walked whenever she could. Oh, Mary, did you retire early because you saved like crazy when you were younger? I retired when I was 65 and a half. I had a corporate job and I was stressed out. And then the first few months you're retired, it feels like you're on vacation. And see, I retired in May, and by October, I found a temp job. So I temped on and off. And then I did that for about 2 years, and then I took a part-time job. I did that for almost 2 years, and then I quit for good. And now I have my YouTube channel. But this is a fun job. Um, I don't I make videos when I want, and that's it. So, Walter, what part of the country do you live in, if I can ask? Oh, you live in Ohio. I live in Indiana. So, we're almost neighbors. Hi. Um, I've been to Ohio a few times. Oh, so Mary was 16 and a half when she retired, and she started investing in her 30s. So you did well. And she worked and she had a second job through the 90s and early 2000s. So you had a goal of retiring a little bit earlier then. And that's a good thing. I was when I was married back in the dark ages, I didn't work until child number 2 was about 10 and I started working part-time. And we got divorced and then I worked full-time after that. You have a pension. Oh, that's good. I have a small pension. It's $170 a month. Pays a couple utility bills, but I'm not complaining. But yeah, retirement, um, I'm pretty much a homebody, and I suppose if you wanna travel the world and such, you would need to save a whole lot so you can retire and do all that fun stuff. Oh, so Mary's been living on her pension. Well, that's a good thing. Were you a teacher? I suppose there's other industries that have pensions. I think, if you've been in the military long enough, or if you've served in Congress long enough. So, Walter, there's not a whole lot of companies that have pensions anymore unless you're, like I said, maybe a teacher or maybe a police or fireman. So you're doing well. You max out your Roth IRA and health savings accounts. You're doing pretty good. Good for you. You are way ahead of the game. Dave Ramsey would be proud if you watched Dave Ramsey. Yeah. So you do watch Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey lately, I think he's a marriage counselor. He's you get all these you hear all these calls and oh my goodness, they don't have money problems, they have marriage problems. So it's kind of interesting. And maxing out is good. I did that in my later years. Take advantage. It's free money. I was at my dentist recently, and while we got to talking, we always gab before he works on my mouth. He got talking about saving for retirement, and he was giving his little spiel, and I said, "You must listen to Dave Ramsey," and he said, "Yes, I do." We kind of had a chuckle about that. He gives a lot of good advice. As with anything, I agree with most things he says, but not everything. But I really do agree with if you're in debt, do whatever you need to do to pay off your debt. And I had some credit card debt in my younger years, and man, when those credit cards were all paid off, it's such a relief. And then after I retired and worked part-time, my car, when I got rid of it, was 19 years old. And I worked part-time to cash flow my current vehicle. And Walter, yes, credit cards, if you're disciplined enough, you charge, your gas and groceries, whatever, and if you pay them off every month, there's nothing wrong with using a credit card. But man, to use it in excess, and a lot of people do, it really hurts. And I have a store credit card, and I don't use it so much anymore, but it was a Kroger credit card, and when you purchase, you got points that I would get, I don't know, $10, $20 a month. Um, I could use it towards my groceries the following month, so I thought that was a good thing. And Mary says she doesn't need to spend every cent she makes. Did we lose Farmer's Wife? She hasn't said a whole lot lately. She was my first one on tonight. I have kind of a lower income, so most of my money goes goes out pretty fast. For example, I got a refund from my state, $40. And the next day I went to the doctor's and it cost me $45. That's true. There should be no judgments on how we spend our money, except when they complain about not having any, right? So how's the weather your way, Mary? It's been kind of crazy where I live. I'm gonna grab a drink of water real quick. I mentioned earlier it was 63 yesterday, and today it's foggy and high in the mid 40s, and we're supposed to have snow by Sunday. Not sure how much we're getting yet. It's that time of the year, right? I am kind of talked out here. So it's chilly where Mary lives. Um, you lost your electricity. If you kept your refrigerator door closed, I would say it would be okay after 3 hours. Do you know why you lost your electricity? Sometimes there's a traffic accident, someone hits a line. Or you went to Costco when after the electricity went out. I got one foot that's fallen asleep. Let me see if I can navigate here. I have a sore knee, so I've been putting my feet up on a little stool and my foot fell asleep. The one with the good knee. Oh gosh. So the electric company told you they were upgrading and it would be 7 hours, but it didn't go out till 1:15. I wonder why they did it during the week. I mean, you would think, well, they probably like to work Monday through Friday, but during the week, school's in session and businesses. Well, Walter, I'm glad you stopped by, and I hope you come back and keep saving. You sound like you're gonna go places. Maybe you can be Dave Ramsey's replacement, huh? Oh, Mary, it was just in your neighborhood. Well, that's not so bad then. Yeah, I suppose there's never a good time to do upgrades. You just do it when you can. But I was thinking, too, with it being winter time, some people heat their homes with electricity. So it might get cold in 3 hours. But yeah, I think you'll be okay. Your mail will be okay. And one thing I do is I keep a small jug, a half-gallon jug in my freezer. And then if we do lose electricity, then I put it down the refrigerator to help keep things cooler. So that's what I do. Well, there you go. I know when you lose power, you think you won't buy so much food. And I have a small garden, and I prefer canning over freezing just in case. And I was sifting through my stuff. I just have the freezer on top of my refrigerator. And I sliced up zucchini and they're covered in ice. I'm going, I wonder, I wonder how they taste. So I probably need to use up all my veggies in my freezer. So, that's something you don't really think about until later. Yeah, just 3 hours with your electricity being off. Nothing's gonna hurt. I think if you're out a whole 24 hours, it might be a different story. And my freezer's still pretty packed right now. We're missing some of our friends tonight, aren't we? I don't know. AJ's usually here, and Marguerite's usually here, and Timothy stops by. Actually, I was getting worried before you came, Mary, because two people were here and they weren't saying a whole lot. So I don't know. Is there something going on TV? Maybe it's the end of the Olympics or something. I don't know. And we know it's not the Super Bowl, but I usually like to start conversations, but I don't want to talk nonstop for an hour. What else can we talk about? Yeah, the Super Bowl's on a Sunday. I was just kidding. See, the World Series isn't until what, September? And it's only March. It's not March yet, but in Indiana, we have Hoosier Hysteria. And that's when all the high schools have their big competition and they the winners, it, they play and then the final two play and it's Hoosier Hysteria. And then there's March Madness. Hoosier hysteria. It's basketball. Basketball, I guess, is a huge thing here in Indiana. And have you ever watched the movie Hoosiers? Who was in Hoosiers? Um, Anyways, the movie Hoosiers is actually from Indiana, and it's a big deal. High schools would build these huge gyms in case their team made it to first place, and it's a big deal in Indiana. So your cousin's son went to Notre Dame. I'm not. I've never been to Notre Dame. It's kind of near South Bend, I think. Yeah, it's high school. And I grew up in Michigan, and we moved to Indiana the 1st of March, and Hoosier hysteria was kind of going on. And first of all, we're going, what's a Hoosier? A Hoosier is a person from Indiana. And hysteria, what are we getting hysterical about? I grew up near Detroit, so yeah, Gene Hackman. And I grew up near Detroit, so we followed baseball and hockey. Hoosiers was a good movie. I haven't watched it in ages. So I think in that movie, a little school won that year. It's been a while since I watched it. You know, the underdog wins in a movie. Oh, hi, Grammy Karen. How are you tonight? Mary, I haven't gone to the movie in years either. My local Christian radio station, they always have fun questions every day. And the question today was, what movie haven't you seen that everybody is shocked that you haven't seen it? And I have a little bit of ADHD. In fact, I'm sitting here twiddling a pen while we talk. I can't sit still for 2 hours in a dark room. That just isn't me. Mary likes Ice Castle's skating movie. Oh, I've never heard of that. Now I like Field of Dreams, and I love the Back to the Future trilogy. I love those movies. And that's about it for me. I used to like Murphy's Romance, but I'm not a big movie person. In fact, the older I get, people will mention a movie star, and I go, I don't even know who they are. So, how are you tonight, Grammy Cam? Did I say that right? Grammy Karen. I'm sorry. Did I tell you my daughter's name is Karen? And Karen was a nice name. And now I guess it isn't. I'm going to have to put my glasses on. I can't quite read everything. And you always liked your name too. I never liked my name. So my dad's name was Donald. So I was named after my dad, I guess. And when we were naming our children, we uh, we didn't want to pick a real common name. Like back in the day, Jennifer was popular. And so we didn't want a real popular name, but we didn't want a name that nobody knew how to pronounce. So I thought Karen sounded nice. And she's a nice girl. My daughter, she laughs off all the Karen snarky stuff. I don't even know how that got started. So yeah, I'm not a movie watcher. Um, oh, I've been watching All Creatures Great and Small, and it's on PBS, and in my town it's on Sunday nights, and oh my gosh, spoiler alert. um Last week's I cried at the end. It was so well written, and kind of spoiler alert, they were celebrating the end of World War II, and it was just a really cool program. I wish there was more TV programs like All Creatures Great and Small. Just wholesome family about like, yeah, All Creatures Great and Small. He's a veterinarian in a little town in England. It's just about a small community. And of course, they were books written way back when. I read them. I was a kid or a young adult. So yeah, nobody knows why or how the name Karen got started. Um, Actually, All Creatures Great and Small, I think this is the second time they've had it. The second time they've run a series. And this one's a couple years old. And they do have I think there was 3 or 4 books. It's from the Bible verse, All Creatures Great and Small. I don't remember where it's from. Maybe in Psalms. The Lord God made them all is the last line. And if you have, well, you have to pay for it though now. If you want to watch PBS, if you want to stream it, I think it's called Passport. You have to donate some money to watch PBS. So I do have a TV, and I bought it so I could watch YouTube on television. And my TV has Roku. I don't know how to use it. I haven't bothered learning how to use it. So I guess I can watch all kinds of stuff, but I just don't care to. Yeah, the book is probably at least 30 years old. I've still got a copy of it around somewhere, I think. Oh, I volunteer once a month on finance committee for a local nature preserve. And I was looking at the profit and loss statement, and they had it, well, not for profit. People give donations, and sometimes they're called restricted accounts, and you have to use them for specific things. And so money came in and out, and I didn't understand why it was done the way it was done. So I went to grab my old accounting textbook from college. And you know what? I threw out all my college textbooks. I'd forgotten. I threw a bunch out a few years ago. And then I must have decided to get rid of the business books. So I ended up having to go online, and I found my answer. I looked online and I learned all about how to do journal entries for restricted restricted donations. So yeah. Well, let's see, I went back to college in 1990, and I graduated in 97. And then I lost my job, and the unemployment office said I needed to get a second degree so I could find a new job. And I said, not doing that. So I went back to school and I got my MBA. And I think I got that in 2007. That was a waste of money, by the way. So I was an older student, but yeah, I gradually got rid of my textbooks. In fact, talking about finances, we were talking about money a little while ago, but for me, getting the MBA was the worst financial decision I ever made because I had student loans. When I worked at a large company in town, and they paid for my undergrad, and so I had $5,000 or $6,000 of student loans from that. But when I went back for my MBA, I thought, oh, I'll make a lot of money and it'll pay for itself, and it did not. Oh my goodness. Some woman at Costco said they got a donation of $100,000 for the food bank. That's wonderful. Um, in fact, with the MBA, of course, I got that. I was in my mid 40s, before I was 50, I guess. And I lost another job. Every time the economy went south, I lost my job. I've lost 3 jobs in my career due to the bad economy and people. I found out after interviews, I found out some employers didn't hire me because they assumed the old assumption thing that I would want more money, so they didn't hire me. And thank goodness for rich people, huh? I will never be able to cut a check for $100,000, except maybe if I sell my house. But then again, I would need that $100,000 to live on. Is it just you and me, Mary? I think it is. We're 2 for 2 here. So if you want to keep talking, I don't mind. Otherwise we can call it a night. And I can see Grammy's name, but I only see 2 people are here in the chat right now. Well, maybe Grammy's still here. Grammy Karen. Um. Oh, Mary, don't take it personally. Oh, we're up to 3. Sometimes, if I see your name, I will remember. This is terrible. Yeah, we're up to 4. There's one lady that comes in. She listens while she's driving. I sometimes I write people's names down, and I don't have her written down. I know her when I see her. Isn't that awful? I have to put my glasses on. Oh, Karen's back. We thought we lost you. So we're glad you're back. So Grammy Karen, I think I already asked. You have 1 or 2 grandchildren. I think I asked once. And if I remember right, you help take care of your little grandson? I have 8 grandchildren. and I love every one of them. Um, I guess I can talk a little bit about 'em. I have identical twin granddaughters who are 15 years old, and I still have trouble. I've always had trouble telling them apart. And I'm not the only one. One of the twins dyed her hair last week. And when I saw her, I said, "Did your sister dye your hair too?" And she said, "No." And I said, "Good." So, yeah, twins do not run in on either side of our families. So, but I guess identicals, it's just an act of nature. So I love them dearly. And so, yeah, grandchildren are a whole lot of fun. They are our reward for raising children, right? And you realize, when I was a young mom, the days just dragged on and on and on, especially when they're preschoolers. I mean, I loved them, but the days just seemed so long. And in the blink of an eye, they're 20 years old. So I really cherish the grandchildren because I know their little years that the time goes by so fast. I wish I knew that when I was a young mom. I might have enjoyed the days a little bit better. So, yeah, twins are kind of neat. And my daughter-in-law, um, before they were born, she insisted that they never they she insisted that they not be dressed identically. And I'm glad she did that. And so they always were dressed a little bit different, except one year. It's kind of funny. My son bought the girls some little winter t-shirts, and it said all snowflakes are unique, and he didn't realize the writing on the t-shirts. And we walk in, it must have been the girls' birthday or something, and or Christmas time. Well, we looked at their shirts and we all started laughing. And my son goes, "What?" And I said, "Did you read the shirt? All snowflakes are unique." So that was kind of funny. The things that pop in our heads sometimes, right? So, but yeah, I do enjoy every one of them, and I love all their little personalities. And some are more talkative than others, and they're just they're a blessing. In fact, the kids like there's a kind of fruit bar. And so I texted their mom this morning. They're on sale this week. What flavors do they like? It is a lot of grandchildren. One child has two children, and the other one has six. So, and that's a lot of kids. But I was one in four. We only had two. So that's that story. But I've noticed that a lot of people seem to be having larger families again, and I think that's good. I don't I don't talk about my grandchildren too often because not everybody has grandkids or children. So I don't want to bore people. So Mary, when your mother died, you Googled her name. Ooh, this is interesting. And what did you learn? Grammy has one grandchild. I thought you had one. Oh my goodness. Let me put on my glasses. From the 1600s. Wow. What country was she from? Or what country was her descendants from? Must have been in Europe. Oh, a man did a genealogy book. Oh, well, I have three of my grandparents are from England. Oh, not my mother, my father. Okay. Oh, so you were in the book too? Oh, that's pretty cool. When my dad's mother was still alive, she hand wrote family genealogy. Yeah, on both sides of the both my grandfather and her. And so I still have that. She wrote it. When did I think I got the book in the early 1980s. Oh, you ordered the book? Now that would be cool. Um, but the book that my grandmother hand wrote, it's starting to fade and I need to scan all the pages. But what a legacy. It's handwritten. So yeah, that would be a good book to have. And I'm on ancestry.com and all my all my deceased relatives are either in Germany or England. So I haven't tackled Germany. In England, I'm finding out fathers and sons have the same first names, and I'm having trouble figuring out, is it an uncle? Is it a father? So I really haven't delved too deeply. I'm gonna have to put my glasses back on. I can kind of read with them off, but I can read better with them on. It was like, can you? So the 800 pages is mostly just their names. The Church of Latter-day Saints, I forget their name. They're into genealogy. Um, but the Church of Latter-day Saints, they have a website. LDS, yeah. And I'm on it and I can't think of the name. I'm on their website. And the ancestry.com, since I've tracked down all my American family, which weren't a whole lot of people, honestly. But now I have to do the international. What is there? I'll think of it when I get off offline. It's not Ancestry, but I've used theirs. And it's kind of interesting. I guess the Latter-day Saints, they believe in baptizing the dead, so that's why they do genealogies. I think that's why they do it. So that is interesting. And being retired doing genealogy, that's kind of a fun hobby if you're into that. And my ex-husband's sister, she's done a ton of work on their side of the family. And they're it's kind of interesting. Her I don't know if she got all the way back or not, but my mother-in-law, she was a daughter of the American Revolution. I don't know if my sister-in-law got all the way back to who came over on the Mayflower or not. I really don't know. I enjoy watching people that research their roots. There was one on PBS. I don't know if they're still doing that or not. And then there's one I watch sometimes they're in England. It might be more than just England, but they do genealogy. It's always interesting when they find out where they came from or who their parents were. And if you're adopted, I guess you always do kind of wonder what your heritage is. But I'm not adopted. If you give me brown eyes, I look like my dad. And he didn't turn gray. He well, he was only 61 when he died, but he didn't have much gray hair at all. So I get my white hair from my mom's side of the family. Well, I think I'm gonna call it a night, and I thank Mary and Grammy for talking tonight, and we had a couple people earlier. So I hope you guys have a great great rest. I can't talk tonight. Great rest of the weekend. And I do appreciate you coming online to talk. It's kind of fun. So take care, everybody, and we'll do this again next week. Good night.